Then follow me and give me a hearing, Cassius. You go into the street after dividing the members. Those who wish to hear me speak, let them stay here. Those who want to go with Cassius, let them follow him. And the public explanation will be given of Caesar's death.
I shall hear Brutus speak. I shall hear Brutus speak.
I shall hear Cassius and we shall compare their reasons and we hear them separately.
Cassius goes out with some of the citizens. Brutus ascends the platform.
Brutus speaks. Be silent so that you may hear all I have to say. Believe me for the sake of my honor and respect my honor, so that you can judge me correctly by your wisdom and alertness. If there is anyone in this gathering who was a dear friend of Caesar, let him know. My love for Caesar was no less than that of his. If then he asked why Brutus rebelled against Caesar, this is my answer. My love for Caesar was no less than that of his. This is my answer. My love for Caesar was no less than that of his. But my love for Rome was greater than my love for Caesar. Would you prefer Caesar be alive and all of you be slaves, or Caesar dead and all be free men? As Caesar was my friend, I weep for him. As he was successful, I rejoice at him. As he was brave, I honored him. But he was ambitious, I killed him. The matter of his death, which you call in question, is recorded in the official record as the capital.
There is no such against to Brutus.
Then I have offended no one, I have done no more to Caesar. What you shall do to me, the matter of his death, which you call in question, is recorded in the official record as the capital.
Enter Antony and others with Caesar's body.
Here comes Caesar's dead body, mounted by Mark Antony, who had no hand in this murder, but he will be not pretended in the share in the gain, which becomes solvable. It was all after the death of Caesar. I have nothing more to say now and take my leave, but I shall say this before I go, that since for good of Rome I kill my best friend, have same weapon ready for myself. If it shall be interest of Rome to do so, I shall die happily.
Live Brutus, live Brutus, live.
Let us accompany him home in the procession.
Let us make a statue along with his ancestor.
Let him occupy his position that Caesar enjoyed his death.
Let Brutus take Caesar's position, for he has all the noble virtues of Caesar.
We will accept him to his house with shouts and acclamations.
Silence all! Brutus speaks.
Let us stay there. Mark Antony.
Good countryman, let me depart alone, and for my sake and for the love you have for me, don't forget to pay respect to Caesar corpse and Antony dealing with Caesar glory, which Mark Antony by permission is allowed to make. I beg of you, let not a man go away except I myself until Antony has spoken.
Let us stay here. Mark Antony.
Let him go up to the public platform. We shall hear him. Go up, noble Antony.
Brutus' sake, I am beholding upon you. What did he say of Brutus?
For the sake of Brutus, he was much obliged to us all.
You good citizens of Rome.
Keep quiet, everybody. Let us listen to him.
Friends, Romans and countrymen, listen to me. I have come here for the funeral of Caesar, not to praise him. Noble Brutus has told you that Caesar was ambitious. If this was true, it was certainly a great offense on his part, and he had paid a heavy penalty for it. Caesar was my friend, and he was always dear and true to me. But Brutus said Caesar was ambitious. I can go against his word, for he is an honorable man and respected by all. Caesar brought many prisoners, war back to Rome, and money paid when poor people suffered. Caesar empathized them and shed tears for them. An ambitious person is usually tough and selfish, not likely to be moved by the suffering of others. Have you all seen with your own eyes in the Lupercal celebration? I offered the royal crown to Caesar 3 times, and every time I offered, he refused it. Did all these seem ambitious on the part of Caesar? Even that Brutus says Caesar was ambitious. I'm not speaking to disapprove what Brutus said, but I'm simply stating fact. I request you to bear with me for a while because all my thoughts and feelings are completely there in the coffin.
Listen, citizen. It seems to me that what he is saying is reasonable.
Well, after all, if you take an impartial way of the matter, Caesar has been treated very unjustly.
Antony is the certainly most noble man in Rome.
Now listen to him. He is beginning to speak again. Only yesterday, the word of Caesar might have controlled the whole world. Now he lies here. Nobody, however poor and humble, to pay respect to him. Oh my friends, I would rather wrong a death to wrong myself to wrong a such honorable man. But here is a document with Caesar's seal on it. I cannot read it out as well to make you to go and kiss dead Caesar wounds and urge you to bath your handkerchiefs in the scared blood.
We must hear the will. Read it out, Mark Antony. Read the will. Read the will.
Be patient, my good friends. I must not read it. It is better you remain ignorant. The nonsenseless things like wood and stone. But you are men. If you hear the will, your feelings of anger and drive you mad with fury.
Read the will. Read the will. We shall hear it. Antony.
Can you be patient and wait a little longer? I'm afraid I'm doing wrong to those honorable men who murdered him.
They were traitors, horrible men, indeed. Read the will. Read the will. Read the will. They were villains and murderers. Read the will.
Since you compel me to read the will, I will do so. Shall I come down from the pulpit? I need your permission.
Yes, come down, noble Antony. Make rooms for Antony, the most noble Antony.
If you are able to shed tears, prepare to do so now. See, this stab of Brutus was the most unkind of all the woods. When the noble Caesar saw Brutus stab him, he could not bear the ingratitude of a dear friend. It broke Caesar's mighty heart. What a great fall it was, my countrymen. It was a great fall for all of us.
Oh, piteous sight.
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, day of woe.
Oh, traitors, villains.
Oh, most bloody sight.
We will be avenged. Revenge, revenge, seek, burn, fire. Kill, slay. Let not a traitor. We shall live. We shall burn the house of Brutus.
Have a little patience, my countrymen.
We shall burn the house of Brutus.
We shall hear him, we shall follow him, and we shall die with him.
Good friends, dear friends, I must not arrest you like a sudden rebellion like a tide. Those who have committed this murder are honorable men indeed. What personal grievance they have, I don't know, that impels them to do this. I'm not a blunt speaker like a Brutus, but as you know, a simple and ordinary person who loves my friend. They who gave the permission of Caesar to speak in public. I'm only telling the plain truth and things you already know.
We shall rebel, we shall rebel.
We shall burn the house of Brutus.
Let us go away and look for the conspirators.
Listen, citizens, allow me to say a few words more.
Silence!
Here is the will with Caesar's seal upon it. To every Roman citizen, Caesar wants to give 75 drachmas to each one.
Very true, very true, let us hear.
Moreover, he has left you all his private groves, the groves of trees and newly planted orchards on the sides of river Tiber. He has left for you and your heirs forever.
Most noble Caesar, we will avenge his death.
Oh, royal Caesar!
The citizens go out with the body.
Now let the pure words that I put in their mind.
Enter Resovel.
Was it in fellow?
Chop chop.
Sir, Octavius has already arrived in Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
He came just I was wishing for him. I go at once and visit him.
I hear him say that Brutus and Cassius have run out of Rome like madmen.
Perhaps the news have reached the mind and have moved the mob furiously. Take me to Octavius.